The American justice system currently appears to be systemically broken. We do a lot of David and Goliath type cases.
We're a nation of laws, or at least we're supposed to be. We're going to have to test the proofs that underlie this order, which haven't been done.
I'm trying to fight for justice in the American way.
Spent 30 years in the police department. I've seen a lot. You know, what's being said to you today and what you're reading, if it wasn't true 10 years ago, then you have to question that.
How in the hell did we get here and where the hell are we going?
Welcome to another episode of Two Average Joes. With just two Joes this time. But we got a lot to talk about. Robert, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
We're just happy to be here. Kind of a strange, interesting time in America, which will be the tagline for the rest of my life. This is a strange, interesting time in America. A lot going on. Just in case you're, new to the planet. Apparently there's 10,000 people underneath the bridge. They're trying to figure out what to do with them. None of them are wearing masks, and they're not vaccinated. I'm pretty confident that they didn't bring their card.
Yeah.
But here we go. Joe Biden's America. That's all you need to know. But it's the usual craziness. But what we're going to do today is we're actually going to talk about some good stuff.
Yeah, we're going to try.
We're going to try. We're going to talk about it because there's some good things happening, and I think it's okay to talk about the bad. I think it's okay to talk about the bad.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, you can't miss it. But I do think that, and I think this is kind of a good thing about today's show is, we can talk about a little bit of the good stuff that happens, and we're going to talk about one of your favorite people,
Elon Musk.
Musk, yes. Tell me what you got there. You sent me some videos. I'll share my opinion on him later. Tell me about Elon. What's he doing?
Well, Elon had an interesting, I guess, the last 30 days or so, maybe 2 weeks. He released that Tesla is going to have a Tesla bot, which is a robot. And also SpaceX sent up 4 civilians up into space, and they orbited the Earth for 3 or 4 days and splashed down successfully, which never had occurred.
Right.
And I sent a video to you. It's just a dancing Tesla. It's just, I wanted to talk about a little bit about the engineering that Tesla, SpaceX, and his related companies are doing in an attempt to get us to Mars. And he's not quite a baby boomer, but he's doing things that baby boomers would do.
Yes.
We have the hippiness in us from the 60s and 70s, and his cars, the engineers have designed in Easter eggs, which are hidden things that it can do. And one of them is this dancing car. But if you Google it, you'll find he's got 30 or 40 of them. He has like a Monty Python mode for his car. He has just things that are crazy that we would do if we were smoking pot in the backyard when we were, 13 years old, which I did. But so there are good things, though. We are distracted, and you and I always talk about it, that by the politicians, they just think they want to divide us. And
yes,
I don't believe that the racism is as raging as they think it is, that we're so much closer as a country than they will allow us to get. And what's your take on that, Joe?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think one thing, I think they want us to hate each other, and I think they're doing almost a very good job because they're pitting us in every direction, to be against us. I also think that, and here's kind of a weird thing, is when we started talking about, we were going to talk about Tesla, and we were talking about Elon, and we were talking about all of that stuff. This goes back before we even started doing the show.
Right.
The show was in our mind.
Mm-hmm.
It is weird that there is this almost fight to not have good news.
Yeah.
It's like anything that would make you feel good. Like you'd go, that's interesting that we got people trying to get into space, and we have people wanting to do things and, going to Mars and doing, all this stuff that's going to help us technology wise. You would think that it would be positive, and yet you can go through your news feed and get little of that. Now, you can get that everybody hates each other, who beat who up, we can get into all sorts of crime. We can do all that, but there doesn't seem to be any unifying force. And I find that hard to believe that's not happening on purpose.
And you had mentioned it earlier too, that a lot of people are waking up and smell the coffee that are, maybe on the left side. I mean, Nicki Minaj evidently got in trouble, or
yes. Apparently, she called out some people, which I thought was
right.
outside.
And then there was another one on the Newsom recall, which I'm not sure what the heck happened out there, because that dude should have been recalled.
He should have been recalled, but apparently, I don't know what happened, but apparently he won in a landslide. And of course, the news was outstanding about that. They go, what does this say about the next national election? What does that say about that? How's that going to help the Democrats? I'll tell you, none, because that's California.
That's exactly it.
I mean, the person that wrote that is so ignorant.
Right.
Their ignorance. I would be afraid. Who wrote that headline? I'd be afraid to stand by him. That ignorance would just get on me. Okay?
That's the interesting thing is the perception of the media. It's like they didn't understand why Trump won.
No, they
still don't. Even now we're on the 5th year after he won. They still don't get why.
And after he loses the second time and he has a bunch of fans, they're still going, oh, they're just Trumpers. Right. I mean, nobody knows. They're not all that bright. And I'm like, you haven't figured it out.
Yep.
Okay. Watch Mitch McConnell's talk, and you wonder why people who want to be Republicans are willing to go outside their norm to get somebody.
Yeah, that's what you and I spoke about. I mean, we are libertarians, I guess. I don't know what the hell we are.
I mean, we're not hardcore, as to the right as people would think. I mean, I'm not. I don't buy off on anybody. But if you can't understand it, that's your problem. There's questions I'd like to ask Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
The first one would be, how do you talk without a chin? And that's amazing. I mean, he has no visible chin.
Yeah.
I would say this, though, if I'd have a play, he'd be a pencil because he already has an eraser head.
Right.
I'd ask him also, why don't you just become a Democrat so you don't waste my time?
Yeah.
People in Kentucky, I'm sure we have a fan base there somewhere, at least one Kentuckian.
Somebody's got to step up and lead, though, don't you think?
Yeah. Lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. That's all I got to say. But he's got to go. But I don't think they get that. I don't think they get that. When you've been recalled, even when you win, that's not like a positive mark.
No.
Well, he got impeached, but he didn't lose his office. No, it's a pain in the butt. Trump had to do it twice. Okay. Right. It was distracting. It took away from him leading this country.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a pain in the butt, and here's the deal with that. They knew that. They knew they had nothing. I remember them marching in the first time with like these gigantic sheets of paper, and they're walking in like they're, going to a funeral, right?
Right.
And I'm like, all you're doing is messing with this country. You're not going to win. You're wasting my time. But you can't say it was no big deal because you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
You have to deal with it. Now, here's the interesting part. He was impeached twice.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Biden, I'm gonna run you over as soon as I find my car keys. Right. Somebody points you in the right direction. I'd have to have somebody drive.
Right.
Screws the Afghanistan thing up beyond belief. Did you hear Republicans say anything? Get a couple of them. But did you see leadership? They go, maybe we'll impeach him. Maybe we'll call him in here and have him do a test, like walking up some airplane steps.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just see how he does. We didn't do nothing because I'm not real big on the president.
Right. That's where we are in this world today.
That's where we're at. But we are going to do a little good news. I thought the Tesla thing was great. I seen the videos you said.
Right. So the robot, which is interesting, it's 5'8", about 145 pounds. It's going to use the software package, presumably, that Tesla is using, which means it's going to talk to all the other robots, which,
that's a great idea.
And as you saw, and hopefully our viewers will see,
there's going to be some links down below. You get to see the videos.
Right.
Flashing shots over here.
It's only going to walk or run 5 miles an hour.
until it changes its programming. And then you're going to be at work, and all of a sudden,
And
you're going to hit
as
it.
Elon presents it, he says that, and then he laughs. And so you should be able to outrun it, he says. And then
So what's going to happen, people, is one day you're going to be at work, and you're going to be sitting there, and you're going to Dave, what are you doing, Dave? Because you're trying to unplug it.
right,
What are you doing, Dave?
Space Oddity 2001.
Yep.
Right.
Space Odyssey. Yep, there it is. 2001, Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
I have watched the ending 47 times and still am like, somebody apparently went off the deep end. The drugs have kicked in, and then you're just there.
Yeah. He also says you'll be able to overwhelm it. Then he laughs again. And it's being built to take over repetitive tasks.
Like killing people who don't listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
And surprisingly, it's in a humanoid form, and it has some sexy contours on the thing. I don't know what he's doing with that. But.
I'll tell you, I've read a lot about that, and we are there. Wherever there is, we are there. I like technology. Don't get me wrong. We're doing this on a Zoom.
Yeah.
I like technology. I like my phone. I like it all. But
yeah.
I'm just sitting here going, what could go wrong?
What could possibly
go wrong?
Yeah, we always say that. And then I forget what it is, Boston Dynamics, which was interestingly bought out by the Chinese, which is the most advanced robot company on the planet, I think, right now.
Go figure they would buy it.
Right. They have some really good videos that I interestingly posted on Facebook, and I got no views, remember?
Yes, because anything that takes you off, this is just a hint for our Facebook fans. If I post a picture of my foot, they'll show it to everybody.
Right.
And people who like my foot will hit like. Okay. If I post a story from Two Avg Joes, your chances of seeing it are slim and none. As a matter of fact,
we're like the only ones that like them.
Yeah. If you're my friend and you happen to be watching this, you probably just need to go to my Facebook page or to the Two Avg Joe page, because they're not going to show it to you on your newsfeed.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's why you get things like, Bill's, picture of his cat got 27 million hits, and you posted some stuff on robots and got yourself.
Right. And it's crazy because on YouTube that thing has like 6 million hits or whatever.
Right. But when Robert Baker posted it, he got one.
Right.
It's weird because we're doing this now regularly. We're doing it once a week, and we're going to kick it up, and there's going to be more things on it and stuff. Yeah. But we're on BitChute, we're on YouTube, we're on Rumble. Okay. We are on 19 different platforms for podcasts. Okay.
Right.
Unless Pandora is your go-to and it's the only one you want to look, I'm still dealing with them. I'm sure Two Avg Joes top of their list to get, right? I'm dealing with Pandora. We're on everything. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're on Amazon Music. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on all of that. And you almost have to do it that way because you and I both know from doing some other little videos about fitness. We were getting blocked on a fitness video where I was talking about my heart condition, and they said I was interfering with the elections of India.
Yeah.
So I couldn't give them $10 to show my video like on that side thing. And by the way, this is for everything. It is an ad for Two Avg Joes, but if you want to do it with somebody, if you have somebody like this, independent media, when we're fighting with those people on the side list, right? Or the suggestions, a lot of those people pay for that.
Right.
Or they have found another way to generate a lot of hits. So, you have to support us. You have to actually work to support us. And we're getting a lot of watches, and we want to get more, but
we are.
There's a lot of work to it. If I was sitting here, and I'm not trying to be funny, and we talked about this before we went there, and before we got started, and we did our research, and I had done some things in the past, and we had talked about, look, if I was totally ignorant of this, I'd be going, well, why aren't more of my friends looking at this? You know, why are my friends going over to YouTube or Rumble or, you know, going over to Amazon Music? Why aren't they doing that? It was like, well, because quite frankly, I don't have the money to advertise, to throw everything out to everybody. So I'm going to have to basically tell people, please check my page, because they're not going to send anything out for you.
Right.
I will give Rumble and BitChute credit. I think they do a better job.
Yeah.
And I didn't even really know much about BitChute, but I will guarantee that Two Average Joes, that is where we get most of our traction.
Yeah, it seems like it. It's this big company censorship that's pervading. And I think it's more algorithm driven.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not picking on us.
Right.
You know, but I will tell you this. I was trying to do a Facebook ad. And I had George Bush's Insane in the last title. I hit submit and they hit reject.
Immediately.
Yeah. They're like, no. But I did get and I'll put a thing down here, a link down here. My last article about hope porn, you know, about hope is good, faith is good, but you may have to do something while you're hoping and having faith, right? I have to put some legs to that. I'll put a link on that one there. I would have thought they would have killed that, and you know, they let me get away with putting an ad there, but I check the numbers every day, and I don't know how much traction we're getting. And I know that that's why it's very, very important that we have people support us, whether it's financially support us, and we're not going to act stupid. We do need that. Or support us in the sense of, man, make sure you look for our stuff. It is just, look, when I was doing this the first time, 7 or 8 years ago, I went and looked at some numbers. They were doing a much better job of getting my stuff out. It was the same stuff. Look, it's the same stuff. Okay. I mean, my politics hasn't changed. My over-the-topness hasn't changed. You know, it's the same stuff. So, you know, we're going to have to do better than that. And I think that that's one of the nice things about Tesla or Elon Musk, because he has the money. He can put himself out there, right?
He does.
But mainstream media still don't cover a lot of stuff of what he does. Matter of fact, he's been kind of vilified.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a bad guy. You know, I want to ask you your opinion, because you're way better on this than I am. I mean, way better on it than I am. Do you find it interesting, like we're getting ready to go to Mars, or we're trying to do things to go, you know, into space, and you do, and it's like, it's just covered almost as a novelty.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, even when, you know, what's the guy from Amazon? I always mispronounce his name because
Jeff Bezos.
You know, I mispronounce it because I've been calling him Bozo for so long.
Yeah, right.
But I actually, when I have to really pronounce his name, it's like, what is Jeff Bozo's real name?
Right.
But even though he did look like Dr. Evil in his penis ship when he went up, right?
Right.
You'd be thinking, people would go, man, you got private citizens now trying to do this technology to get back into space. And all of a sudden you're like, no, you know, it's like, not much. Or it's covered like a novelty. You know,
you and I grew up when they hit the moon, right? I mean, we were very young, and it seemed like we as a nation lost interest in space. And I don't understand why, because all of this side technology that gets developed for us to do these type of things are so useful on our planet, you know. And now you have Elon Musk, who's from South Africa, of all things, you know.
Right.
And he's adopted our country because he knows that we have the best system as far as capitalism, and even as messed up as our political system is.
No, I mean, he's here for a reason. You can't argue.
He'll tell you too. He calls this country his, you know, us, you know. He's not saying, you know, I'm from another country. He's saying this is my country too. I mean, that's what I dig about him. But now he is, I mean, everything he is doing, I'm almost positive he's going to use to go to Mars. I mean, and if I live long enough, I'll probably see it.
Wait 1 second. I'm doing my research that I should have already done.
Well, that's why we have Kent. Hopefully he'll.
No, I want this to be on here. I want people.
Okay.
Don't cut this, Ken. I want you to know that I want people to know that I'm working every day bringing you. I do not want this cut. I want people to know that every day I'm working hard to get people the biggest news they can get.
Right.
Major Matt Mason.
All right.
That's all you need to know. If you do not know who Major Matt Mason is, I will explain to you because that's the riveting research I do on this show right now. He was this action figure. He was an action figure before we used the term action figure. We called them dolls for boys.
All right.
Major Matt Mason. He was the astronaut action figure. He was brutally popular because every young guy thought we'd be on Mars by now. And so here's my second Major Matt Mason story, and I haven't researched this because I don't think my readers, my listeners care. But I'll tell you, about 4 years ago, I thought, I'm gonna go here because I like collectibles. Not that I'm gonna waste our time on that one, but I like collectibles. I said, what I'd really like to get? A Major Matt Mason. Until I realized he was $100, and all of a sudden I wasn't that interested in.
Right.
There you go. If you can get him cheaper, put it in the comments. Send me a link.
Interestingly, I looked him up, and he looks a lot like the guy from Toy Story.
Yes. Oh, but Buzz Lightyear looks like
Buzz Lightyear. He looks almost, doesn't he look very similar?
Yes, I think of that every time I see him. But Major, because that's who he's based on. Buzz Lightyear is based off Major Matt Mason. And
Right.
he was incredibly important. And it's not that science fiction isn't important, but if you watch the original Star Trek, the impression is that we would unite as a world and we would go out and be amongst the stars.
Yeah.
And of course, we would be fighting other people like we always doing, killing Klingons, but we would be united as far as our world is concerned, right? But yeah, that's kind of weird because you and I are definitely of that age that was what people thought. There is if you are younger than we are,
Right.
and you weren't alive when we landed on the moon the first time, the way that's presented now is not the way it was presented then.
No, it was a big deal.
Yeah, and the way it was presented was this was the first step for a much bigger project.
It really was.
You would have thought we were going to Mars. There's no doubt in my mind. That's why it came to a crashing thud. And I know people are going to go, we had the space shuttle programs. They were not going to the moon, people. That was not the same, and there is some danger to it. I mean, with space shuttle, we had 2 tragedies.
Yeah.
I mean, there's danger to it. And I understand that. But because I think a lot of people, if they're younger than us, they're going to remember the space shuttle stuff. And they're going to remember the tragedies, and they should remember the tragedies. But the space shuttle was not going to the moon. It was not, that was not even in the same realm. Right. What they were talking about was trying to get to Mars and do everything else. And, maybe one day we'll get somebody from NASA who would kind of like share kind of what went wrong, or what went right. Why did we stop? But it's interesting. But it does seem to be a private entity now. We're going to have driverless cars, which I hate to tell people, but I drive every day and we already have driverless.
Right.
There's just a body in it.
Right.
Any attention. But it's going to be interesting. Why? Give me something, because we talk about here and you know a lot more than I do. Why do you think that for somebody that intelligent, we're talking about Elon Musk again, he gets poo-poo? Because I do believe, he was on Saturday Night Live and he thought they were having, the Antichrist.
That is interesting, isn't it? Because he's probably done more for the planet. He is like lowered the trajectory of space travel. He's done so much for vehicles. Before it's all over with, if he lives long enough, he's probably going to be one of the most influential people who ever hit the planet Earth, at least during our lifetime.
Yeah, and it just seems like some poo-poo on him, and it always stuns me. It does. It's like, I do worry that sometimes, and I mean this sincerely, that nobody's interested in good news. I believe that. I don't believe anybody, and I'm going to tell you something for people that have never been in a position where they've had to deal with the media. And I know you have, especially with Marlena's case lately. And I spent a long time on the police department, spent a lot of time in the public eye and a lot of time with the media.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it isn't 100% their fault.
Yeah.
You know, before it sounds like I'm slamming them. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I just dealt with newspapers and radio, and I dealt obviously with television. And it was like, I'm not sure good news sells. But when you have something humongous, so I understand that. Nobody's going to say, you know, the X, Y, and Z police department did a wonderful job today, and they did excellent. And they helped. You're never going to read that story.
Right.
Okay. I mean, and if you do, it'll be some special piece on somebody doing a good thing. Okay.
Right.
So I understand that. But now you're into the gigantic, super duper, really incredibly good. When that gets poo-pooed, that's a whole different situation. Right.
Right.
And I know I can't understand it. It is a bit surprising to me. You're going to have cars that just drive themselves. I mean, all they're doing now is working the kinks out.
The bugs out. Yeah, they're very close.
I mean, that's going to happen. And you know, and I even wish it would be done like, because there's another video out there, and we're not going to worry about that. He has 1 million videos. Look him up, right?
Right.
But he said that, it's going to be interesting because, you know, the trucking business is the first thing that's going to be totally changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and, you know, there's going to be people that, you know, they'll be phased out. And you hate that. But at the same time, you're hearing they can't get truckers.
Right.
You know, I mean, so if you sit there and just go, well, what about all the truckers? I understand. And I guess somewhere down the line, that job will be phased out. But at the same time, I mean, you pick up the paper and they're having trouble getting truckers, you know? Now, always understand this, and I hope everybody understands this when I talk. If I said I read in the paper and you know I'm wrong, please put it in a comment.
Yeah, right.
Okay? Because every time I read something, I know I'm probably going down the rabbit hole. Okay?
Right.
So, you know, I'm not a big, it's the hardest thing about doing this program is actually you get a lot of information and you and me share things and you're trying to get it and you're paying attention to the news. And I'm like, I'm not sure that's even true.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to condense it down and find out what the real truth is. And it's so evasive for us. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's just really, really tough. And I don't care what you're talking, and I don't care what topic you're on. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I mean, as a matter of fact, I've written a couple of articles on this, and it's like, you know, you need to get away from those titles.
Yeah.
I don't care which side you're on, because I'm going to tell you something. If you're like, I know I'm going to vote Democrat because, you know, Democrats are an idiot. And if you're voting Republican, knowing what Republicans are, I'm way more angry at the Republicans.
Yeah.
Because they would be the people who you would think would be thinking like.
Yeah.
And good, they talk a great show, man. Come election time, you know, my God, you know what, you really don't do anything. Okay. And then you have George Bush, which, you know, I'm not going on a tangent with him. You know, we voted for him twice.
I think our next election is going to be very interesting because I think that some of the minorities are waking up and smelling the coffee, right? That the Democrats sell them a line of BS to get their vote. And then once they're in, they ignore.
I wish that more people would do that. I wish more people would go, okay, I know why I voted for him. Mm-hmm. Right. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. I know why I voted for him. But did that happen? It's like I got tickled because AOC wore the dress to the mega gala where she $30,000 free ticket, supposedly, right? Allegedly. Yeah. And she got taxed the rich. And, you know, all I could think about was that's hope porn. Yeah. That's the best view of hope porn I had ever seen in my life.
Right.
Because you know what? And God bless them. I have a lot of Democratic friends. I really do. And I love them. I do. But it's like, that's hope porn. You want to know what hope porn is? That because you watch that and you go, you know what? Hey, what them going to do? They're going to tax the rich. And you are an effing idiot. Never, never, never happen. It's they tell you, this is for my Democratic friends, so that you can go to your bedroom, do whatever you do when you think about that, and feel good about yourself. But it ain't happening. It's hope. Get
Well,
on.
and it's the basic misconception that the government can allocate the money that you pay them as tax better than somebody who's become wealthy.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the other thing. And I mean, it don't matter where you're at. Rich people don't pay taxes. They don't. You go look at a corporation, they don't pay.
I know, but what are you going to do to say Elon Musk? Okay, so you're going to tax him. All right. I don't think he takes a big salary anyway. His money's mostly probably in the stock market. So you tax him and take away. I mean, how many people is he employing? How many different industries has he disrupted already? Yes. So you want to tax him? That's part of that tax the rich. Okay.
Yeah.
And if we had a bigger platform, I would say what rhymes with that, which should have been on her dress. Right.
Right.
But I'm sure we'd be deplatformed for that, but it's just craziness. And that is hope porn of epic proportions. That's just almost clickbaiting.
It is. It's like I saw it and I thought, first off, I'm with you about the rhyming, right? And the second one that I thought is, they're just not going to tax it. I'm not even going to give you a reason. I'm not even going to tell you if it's right or wrong.
Right.
I'm not even going to tell you if they should or shouldn't. It's hope porn.
Yeah.
If you were a Democrat and you looked at that and said, we're finally going to get them rich people.
Yeah.
No. You know, they're going to tax people like you and me.
That's exactly right. And well, you know where they're going to hit it? In a gas tax and stuff that hits the poorest of the poor.
Right. They
just, and this is what, I don't know whether I told you this, but you know how a magician takes the watch off your hand? He's patting you somewhere else. He's distracting you.
That's right.
And that is exactly what the politicians are doing. They're going, tax the rich while they're reaching into the poor of the poor of the poor.
Go get a because groceries are out of control now, right?
Oh man.
Go to the restaurant and see how much they tax you.
Right.
And who goes there? Okay, I'm gonna tell you what, I love you. He didn't go through the drive-thru Burger King.
Right.
It didn't happen. You go, wait, Joe, you don't know that.
Yeah.
He doesn't know where the Burger King in your neighborhood is. Okay?
Yeah.
They're brutalizing the working and poor class. They brutalize it. Tax, the rich. Go check out how much of your gas that you're paying for is nothing more than a tax.
Yeah, the majority of it is, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, you're paying a fortune in taxes. You are being taxed on everything. It's like that George, not that we want to get in a copyright infringement, but if we didn't have to worry about that George Harrison song from the Beatles, The Tax Man.
Yeah, right.
They'll tax your feet, They're brutalizing just regular people. And the hope porn for the left is that one day, some rich guy's going to pay his salary. It's like, I don't want to pick on Elizabeth Warren because she has enough mental issues without me picking on her. Okay.
Right.
She don't even know who she is. Okay.
Right.
That's a mental issue. Okay. Who am I? I don't know. So you got her and she's a mess, but she's rich. She's got zillions of money coming in. She has never wanted for anything in her political career. She has money on top of money. And she's talking like she doesn't have any money and she's poor and she understands you. Bernie Sanders. Twice they bought him off he could have won both times.
I know.
Gave him some money and the guy's a communist or a socialist or a fraud. So let's go with the third one. He's a fraud. And he took the money and ran, and his people go, Bernie Sanders had some good ideas right before he was a hoax. He's a fraud. He's a fraud. Okay. And you know what? But hope porn keeps you going, man.
Yeah.
I want to explain something. I want to erase stuff. Freeze in for a second. If your answer for everything I say is they're better than somebody else, you're ignorant.
Right.
Just because somebody is taking advantage of you, but you like them better than the other people that were going to take advantage of you, you are an idiot. All capital letters.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's why they're able to get away with it, because they'll get the screw job and their supporters go, but he's better than their idiot. You're an idiot. You just need to call people out. You would actually think, if you were a Republican, that we would be the most vocal people against Mitch McConnell. Not Democrats. We would be. We'd be the ones going, this guy doesn't even have a chin. I don't trust him. Okay? I know he's lying. His lips are moving. Right? Well, I believe that. And I probably lean more conservative than most of my friends, but I believe that. But I'm also perplexed when Democrats or my friends that are liberal will just try to defend that disaster in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And it's look, dude, get up off your knee, clean up, and grow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But we've lost. There's no leadership.
No.
And then nobody's holding anybody accountable, not accountable for their lies, not accountable for the horrible job they're all doing.
Right. Screwing the average guy. They just screw the average Joe. Pardon the pun. I mean, the average Joe's just getting screwed. And you're I don't care which side you think you're on, other than I do mean everything I said in this video, and I do not stutter. Right. I love when people ask, what do you mean by that? Get a dictionary, look at every word.
Right.
And that's exactly what I mean.
Right.
That's the problem, is that it seems like if I was a Republican, I would be more angry at Republicans if things aren't going right.
Yeah.
And if I'm a Democrat, you would think that I would be more upset when things went wrong with the Democrats. I would never be I don't like what's going on, so I hate the other party. I mean, because you can't, any adult can look at this and it's just absolutely screw job stuff. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, somewhere down the line, people have to grow up. And I think that's the end game here. And I think that there are things where it was Two Average Joes or it's any of the independent media. And there's a lot to choose from, but it's weird because I've had conversations on the outside with people about us doing independent media, and they know we got to do what we got to do. We got to fight the other groups out there, and there's all that's true. But still, for most of us, we're up against them. The bigger odds is trying to fight the mainstream.
Right.
So if you want to help independent media and you like us, please help us.
Yeah.
But if you have another favorite, as much as this breaks my heart to say, help them, because all of us are up against some pretty insurmountable odds.
Yeah.
Because I think that the average story is just feeding people, crap. So
it seems to me that we are the Democratic Party and maybe the Republican Party to some effect has a hangover from Trump, that they wanted Trump out so bad that they burned the country down to do it.
Right.
And now that the fire is raging, they don't know how to stop it. And I think that they're realizing now that there's political capital that they squandered, that's going to hurt them in this next election, maybe the next 2 or 3, because the hangover from this. I mean, we feel it in Michigan, and I know you just got down to Mississippi, but the governor has not stepped up as far as we have supposedly high numbers returning from the new variant from COVID. And she hasn't shut the state down again. She has not even instituted the mask stuff, though. Local school boards and health departments are doing the dirty work for, I guess. So, but the political side of it is, I think she is determined that it's not politically expedient for her to step up again and try to do that. And as you probably know, Marlena's restaurant's opening on Tuesday. that
is outstanding.
A long hiatus. And, but what we see, what we feel, what you and I, when you were here, it's palpable.
You can feel it in the air.
Yeah. No,
you can feel it in the air here.
And that was what Ken was, our last guest last week and the week before, was saying, is that, I mean, there was did you see the thing about the school board shutting down letting people in?
They're not going to let, and you got less than a minute to talk. Of course, I only wanted to say 2 words, so I'll get it done in a minute.
Well, I guess we'll wrap it up there. I mean, we've said a lot.
I think you can't say any more than that. I just want to say something to our listeners. Just one other thing. First off, people might be surprised. I was actually very liberal back in the day. And I didn't stop being liberal. The liberals stopped taking care.
That is true. That is
Man,
true. I think they're gonna,
But I will say
coming
this
to a bigger thing, aren't they?
as we come to a conclusion here.
Yeah.
It's very important that no matter what you watch us on, no matter what platform you watch us on, hit like, leave a comment, subscribe to us, share these videos. Look, that's as important as anything else you can do.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, make a comment. If only good job, I mean, or any suggestion, do it.
Yeah.
Because we got to fight it. And I think we got something good. And I think there's something that we can do. And I'm with you, my friend. Let's go ahead and have a good week. And everybody take it easy. Think about the robots. That's all I'm thinking.
They're coming. They're coming.
Y'all have a great one, and we'll talk soon. Y'all take it easy.